Hi families, it's Miss Bland, and this video is on strategies we use for solving multiplication problems. So our equation that I have is 5 times 3 equals 15. 5 and 3 are called the factors, and 15 is what we would call the product. So factor times factor equals product. So again, 5 and 3 are the factors, 15 is the product. Now we have 4 strategies that we use in 3rd grade to help us break down and solve our multiplication problems. We have repeated addition, equal groups, arrays, and number lines. I'll start with the repeated addition. That's what we tell students, that's what multiplication is. It's repeated addition, and we've really been mastering and working on our addition, so then we're taking that further now and moving to multiplication. So with repeated addition, I like to kind of say, so since we have 5 times 3, I would present this as draw like 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces that you're going to add something. So those are my 5 spaces, which the 5 comes from your first factor, times 3. 3 is what you're going to increase by. So I had my 5 spaces, I took the 3, the other factor, and that is simply what we're increasing by each time. So I wrote it out like this. You can break it down further. You can do 3 plus 3 equals 6 and continue to add to it. But this is just the big general overview of how repeated addition looks. Moving to equal groups. So the big term here, what I have in quotation marks, is groups of. So I tell students that we can read multiplication equations as a sentence. So 5 times 3 equals 15. We would read that multiplication sign as groups of. So if we were saying this out loud, this would be 5 groups of 3 equals 15. So over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups. Okay, so I have my 5 groups of 3. So that means within each group I have 3 dots. So again, 5 groups of 3, and that equals 15. If you want to increase down at the bottom, this is 3, 6, 9, 12, and then it gets us to our 15 because we're increasing by 3. Next is arrays. So again, arrays also read like a sentence similar to equal groups. But this time though, the multiplication sign says rows of. So this is 5 rows of 3 equals 15. So I have my rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 rows, and in each row there are 3 squares. So again, 5 rows of 3. I have 5 rows. Each row contains 3. Also, my little trick for remembering the difference between rows and columns, because that is tricky, rows go side to side, because if you're like rowing a boat, like you row from side to side, that's my little trick. So that's rows of, so 5 rows, each row contains 3. The last one, which this one proves to be kind of the trickiest for some, it really depends, but we see a lot of struggles more with number lines. This can also read as a sentence, but multiplication sign would say jumps of. So this reads as 5 jumps of 3 equals 15. So I've already labeled my number line down here, but just to further show you, so this is 1 jump, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are my 5 jumps of 3, because every time I am increasing by 3. And I'll try to write that underneath. So plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So every time I am increasing by 3. Again, these are the 4 strategies that we use in 3rd grade to help us solve equations, or multiplication equations. So I hope that this helps.